Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here today. Today I am hopping on doing a few videos today, actually 3 of them I think. So I'm getting them all done while it's dreary and miserable outside. And today I thought I'd hop on. This is sort of a chat video. I'm not sure how I'm going to title it yet, but we'll see where this goes. And I'm kind of flying off the cuff today. I think it's all going to come together just because I have lots of thoughts in my brain right now, and which is sometimes scary. When I say that, my husband always gets nervous, so means I've got ideas coming. But today I thought I would hop on and we do a little chat and maybe get a conversation going in regards to thoughts on this. I did a video a couple weeks ago, I think it was, on making money from doing what I do. How would you do that? How would you go about doing that? We talked about the Walmart mentality and not getting paid for the art that goes into your work and things like that. And I had this wonderful comment. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read it all to put things into context. And I did ask for permission to do this. So I want to read through it. And it got me thinking, and then I had another conversation yesterday, which got me thinking even more. So let's do this. The comment was, and this was on my pricing handmade items. My aunt taught me at age 16 to crochet. That's been just under 47 years. I crochet yarn, thread, which is lace, beading, and sequin projects. I decided I wanted to make a lace coverlet. I used thread. It took me months to make. It was queen size, gorgeous with matching tassels. To understand the enormity of the project, the coverlet used 10 miles of thread. There was over 10,000 popcorn stitches alone. With supplies and time, I should have had it at $1,500, which was cheap when she's talking about selling it. It sold for $250. It was such a loss. It was even a multiple award winner. People do not realize what it takes to do these things. I thought I was going to go blind from the eye strain before it was done. I worked massive hours on that thing. I relate to you so much. I've done a bit of drop spindle. I'd love to get a spinning wheel and spin. I've done craft shows on and off since the 80s. I can do just about anything I want to do. Not afraid to try anything. I crochet, cross stitch, embroider, beading, sequin, crochet, some quilting, sewing, costumes, Civil War, and even things like flower arrangements, bracelets, and even a 3rd-generation cake decorator. I'm no expert, don't even want to be. For me, it's the love of doing it. I've completed 4 crochet projects in the last 9 days. People who do not do this stuff are clueless. I have made stunning lace doilies and table toppers. There's no way I could sell them because no one would pay the price. So I made them and used them in my home and create my dream home, surrounded by beauty. My mom taught me the greatest lesson of my life, and I was an adult. I thought my work had to be perfect. Well, to others, it might look that way. I've won more ribbons than you can shake a stick at my work, but one day I was frustrated. I called my mom and said, I wish I could be a master of one and not a jack of all trades. My mom, in her quiet way, said, I don't. I said, why is that? She said, when you are a jack of all trades, you can have the best of everything. I immediately burst into tears and begged God for forgiveness. Not kidding. I sobbed for over an hour. God had given me gifts, and I really hadn't looked at it that way because everything comes so natural. In my mind, it's just me. I never, ever complained since then, and I have been thankful. Now the goal is to learn to do things, acquire skills that don't focus on perfection. As a result, the things I do turn out beautifully. And she goes into talk about rabbits that she had when she was a little girl. So I thought that was a really awesome story that I thought I'd share with you today. And the other reason I wanted to share it was because I had 2 gals from the Mitten Homesteaders Conference, Mina and Jamie, out here yesterday. We kind of did a farm tour and we talked. And because the Homesteaders Conference is coming up here May 16th and 17th. So I will be there again. And what we were talking about was a lot of what she just mentioned, and making money off your craft, or how to make money on the homestead. And Jamie asked me the question, what is a homesteader? I've fallen in love with this the last 30 some years, the idea of homesteading, the raising your own food, doing all the stuff. But I don't count myself a homesteader. I've done a lot of stuff like that. We've raised the animals, but I've never been a real homesteader. But as I started thinking about that question yesterday and we talked about it, I might not be doing the beef cows or the dairy cows or the pigs, maybe not right now. There has been discussions, but we have the Angora rabbits, we have Angora goats, and then I have a flock of laying hens. So that's my my homesteading. But there's also all kinds of other aspects that fall into all of that, which is, we raise a huge garden for just Scott and I, and we always have. We've had a garden for forever. Since we were married, we've had a garden. And so, we garden, we have berries, we have blueberries, we have raspberries, we have mulberries, we have fruit trees, we have, all the stuff that we do. I cook from scratch. I grind my own wheat to make bread. I used to make cheese all the time. I still can make cheese. So I used to make soap all the time. So all of those skills and crafts that come into play when you think about being homesteading, I can do all of that. And it's not, it's because I am that jack of all trades. I have lots of different skills. So my thought going into this is, can we be a jack of all trades and a master of one thing? Now, that probably brings up a whole argument that, to be really good at something, you really have to focus on that thing. But home is such a bigger picture when you're looking at it. In my mind, when I think of homesteading, maybe it's not homesteading for me, it's homekeeping and all the stuff that I do that goes along with it. And then I have my master, which I would say I'm not a master, even though I've been doing it for 20 years, is my fiber arts, my yarn, the things I do with that. It's not even the rabbits. It's more about the yarn than it is the rabbits. Because I wouldn't even call myself a master of rabbits. I have friends that know so much more about rabbits than I do. And I've raised them for 20 years, and it's because of that, jack of all trades, master of one, is what I'm hoping that I can do. So I think going forward, I'm going to look at things differently because of this, because I don't want to. Some people will say that you have to just focus on that one thing. And if I were to just focus on that one thing for me would be making yarn. And so that might take out the rabbits and the goats and the shearing and the processing of my own fiber from my own animals, because I want to just master. I'll get the fiber from someone else. I don't need to be tinkering in this other stuff. And so it's an interesting concept to think about, because with that mastering of one skill, there might be all kinds of other stuff that you have to learn to go along with it. And so I've been thinking about that the last couple days here, and her comment just really made me think about how can we become the people that we're supposed to be creative wise, which, I'm extreme creative. This morning I had to stop and write a list because my brain was moving so quickly I couldn't keep up with it, which might be another issue. I don't know. But I think as a creator, which is what we were made by a creator and made to create, I think that instead of, and not everybody's going to be the same. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get at, because I know all of our personalities are different. So we're not all going to be that wanting to have these multiple skills and multiple things. My sisters always joke that I have two younger sisters, and I sucked all the creativity out of my parents, and it never got to them. And we always joke about that because they don't have the creative desire or push to do the things that I do. They look at me like I'm weird most days. So there's that thing where personality comes into hold with this too, I think. And so we're not all going to be thinking this way. But yeah, just something to think about this week as you're going about and thinking about, can I be that master of one thing and yet have all these other things come into play? And I wouldn't even say I've mastered yarn at all. I mean, I've tinkered with it for so many years, but there are some aspects of the yarn world that I haven't even put my tiptoe into. I have not, things like weaving. I've never looked into weaving because I know I don't have the room for a loom, things like that. So there's so many aspects to some of these creative things that we do that, we may have to toy with one thing and not the other. Or maybe you, like I said, you could deep dive into yarn and not hit all the yarn stuff because there's just so much stuff. So I hope that will spark a conversation or a thought in your mind today, just something that has been, rolling through my brain, and hopefully it all made sense as I'm just kind of going off the cuff today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day today, and I hope you get to create something. Have a great day.